Hi, welcome to the MHS Wood Shop. Our next piece of equipment is called a compound miter saw. A miter saw is one of the most popular pieces of equipment you would see in a wood shop or on a job site. A miter saw specializes in taking material and cutting across the grain of the wood to get the material down to the desired length. It can also be adjusted to cut a bevel off of an edge or an angle out of a length of a piece of wood as well. So the miter saw consists of a few basic parts. We have a table, we have a fence to support your material against for a square cut. We have an adjustable gauge that can set 45 degrees to 0 and 45 the other. And then we have an adjustable slide. The slide allows for you to cut multiple widths of material, but the operation all remains the same. The saw is driven by a motor, which is attached here. It has a safety and a trigger to engage, rather than our start and our stop button on our other equipment. So when the trigger is let go, the saw stops. When the trigger is activated, the saw starts. So to set up and cut with the miter saw, we don't have any push sticks or miter gauges. We have a built-in miter on the saw itself. We have a built-in guard that covers a circular saw blade that's rotating at us, and it's actually forcing the material down to the table. So to make an efficient cut with this saw, you would take your material, you would scribe a line that is square to your appropriate length. We would get to a comfortable side of the saw. Now, in this case, the motor's on the left, and the handle's on the right. So a natural position to be in for this saw is to support your material squared up and flush to this back fence. Just like the bandsaw and the table saw, we slightly stand off to one side so that we're never in the path of this cutting blade. Now, the guard protects this cutting environment throughout the cut, but we don't want to always rely on that throughout the process. So to make your cut as a dry run here, you'll hold your material back to the table. We always maintain that 4-inch clearance, keeping your hands and fingers out of the cutting path. We support down to the table. I tuck in my thumb, and I grab the trigger, and I will guide the blade out to the width of this material. At that point, I would turn on the saw, drop it all the way through the material until I feel it bottom out to the table, and then slowly, with it at that depth, guide the saw all the way back till it reaches home. Let go of the trigger, release, wait for the saw to stop, and then clear your parts. So to finish up the video, I'm going to do a dry run. I'm going to cross-cut this piece down to a desired length. I'll show how to safely let the saw come to a stop, clear my materials to finish up. Thank you.